You are watching Relationship Psyche, the channel where we break down the hidden patterns of human behavior that most people live inside of, but never fully see. Today we are talking about something deeply personal, something almost everyone has experienced, but very few people have ever had explained to them. That feeling of being completely exhausted after spending time with one specific person. Not a bad person necessarily, not someone who did anything obviously wrong. Just someone who leaves you feeling like you need to recover. We are going to get into exactly why that happens and what it is actually telling you. There is someone in your life right now. You already know who it is. You might even genuinely care about them. But after every phone call, every visit, every long conversation with this person, you feel it. That specific kind of tired that sleep does not fully fix. You cannot always point to what they said or did. The conversation was fine on the surface, but something underneath it quietly took something from you. That is not a coincidence. That is not you being too sensitive. That is your nervous system sending you a very clear signal. And today we are going to learn how to read it. The first thing worth clearing up. Feeling drained around one specific person is not the same as being an introvert who needs alone time after socializing. Introverts feel tired after being around most people. This is different. This is when one particular person consistently leaves you more depleted than anyone else in your life. You can spend a full day with certain friends and feel energized, then spend 1 hour with this person and feel like you need a 2-day break. That difference is important. It means the issue is not about your energy levels. It is about what that specific dynamic is quietly asking of you. When you are around someone who drains you, your nervous system is not relaxed. It is working. It is constantly monitoring the conversation, tracking emotional shifts, anticipating reactions, adjusting what you say and how you say it based on their mood. That process uses real energy, even when it happens below the level of your conscious awareness. Psychologists describe this as hypervigilance in social settings. Your brain has learned that this particular person requires careful handling, so it stays alert the entire time. By the time the conversation ends, you have been running at a higher level of mental output than you realize. That is why you feel so tired. Not all draining people look the same. Some are obviously negative, always complaining, always in crisis, always needing something. But the ones that confuse people the most are not like that at all. Some draining people are cheerful and high energy, but every conversation somehow circles back to them, their problems, their stories, their needs. You leave feeling like you were there to be an audience, not a person. Some draining people are unpredictable. You never quite know which version of them you are going to get, so you spend the whole interaction quietly bracing. That tension is exhausting in ways that are hard to explain. There is a concept in psychology called emotional labor. It describes the mental and emotional work of managing your own feelings in response to someone else. Most people associate it with customer service jobs, but it happens in personal relationships too. Every time you hold back what you actually want to say to keep the peace, that is emotional labor. Every time you manage your tone carefully to avoid triggering their reaction, that is emotional labor. Every time you absorb their mood without being allowed to have your own, that is emotional labor. None of it shows up on the surface of a conversation, but all of it costs something. And when one person consistently requires this much invisible work from you, the bill adds up fast. Here is something that almost nobody talks about in this conversation. Most people who feel drained by someone they care about also feel guilty about it. Because the person did not do anything obviously wrong. Because they love them or have known them for years. Because admitting you feel exhausted by someone feels like a betrayal. So instead of listening to the signal, you override it. You tell yourself to be more patient, more present, more understanding. And the exhaustion quietly builds. But that feeling of depletion is not a character flaw in you. It is information. It is your mind and body telling you that something in this dynamic is costing you more than it is giving back. Here is what happens when you ignore this feeling for too long. You start dreading contact with that person before it even happens. You feel relief when they cancel plans. You find yourself saying you are fine when you are not, just to avoid the energy it would take to be honest. Over time, This kind of constant depletion does not just affect that one relationship. It affects your capacity for all of them. When one person is quietly draining your reserves, you have less left for everyone else. Less patience, less presence, less of yourself to give. The cost is not just one tired afternoon. It compounds. So what do you actually do with this? First, name it honestly to yourself, not to them, just to you. Admitting that someone drains you is not a betrayal. It is clarity. Second, reduce the duration and frequency of contact without drama or explanation. You do not owe anyone unlimited access to your energy. Third, stop trying to fix the dynamic by giving more. If more patience and more presence have not worked yet, they will not work now. Fourth, check what you are getting from the relationship, not what you used to get, not what you hope it might become, what it is actually giving you right now. If the answer is mostly obligation and exhaustion, that is enough information to act on. Here is what I want to leave you with today. Your energy is not infinite, and who you spend it on is one of the most important decisions you make, even when it does not feel like a decision at all. Feeling drained by someone is not weakness. It is not a failure of love or loyalty. It is your nervous system being honest with you in the only language it knows. The question is whether you are willing to listen. So here is what I want you to sit with after this video. Think about the person who came to mind at the very beginning, and ask yourself one honest question. What would it feel like to protect your energy around them without guilt? Let me know in the comments. And if this video said something you have been feeling for a long time but could not put into words, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Psychoverse is here every week. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss what comes next.